GM, good morning. Welcome to the Milk Road Show, the #1 doctor recommended source for your daily crypto nutrients. You know what they say, 20 minutes per day keeps the market uncertainties away. I'm your host, Jay Hamilton, and today we're analyzing and picking apart our take on the top 20 tokens by market cap in August. Are we bullish or are we bearish? Here to guide us today is Milk Road co-owner and head of research, Kyle Reidhead. Kai, start us off. Why did we want to do an episode looking at the top 20 tokens by market cap?
Well, first, Milk Road is like protein, the most important nutrient that you can put in your body. Just want to clarify that. Why do we want to do this? I get so many questions on, is this token still a good token? Is this token still a good token? And it's always about these ones that are from like years and years ago, past cycles, 2 cycles ago. And a lot of them exist somehow still in the top, or did exist somehow in the top 20. And so it was always funny to me to see so many, let's call it dead projects that were the top ones in crypto, which is always just very weird, right? For new people coming in, they're like, is this thing still good? I've heard of this one before. And nature seems to be healing. We don't have as many of these, like, let's say zombie chains or zombie tokens existing in the top 20. But I think it's always fun to do a review and just sort of see, of the top tokens by market cap in crypto, which ones of these are still relevant or are still, let's say, bullish or bearish, as you said?
All right, let's jump in then. Starting off first with the big behemoth, #1 on the list, Bitcoin. Kai, speculative or fundamental?
What's funny here, I mean, fundamental, store of value, digital gold, has an ETF, is a $1 trillion asset. There's no better asset in the space. And so fundamental without a doubt. Although what's funny about Bitcoin is it's basically just a meme. That's how money works. So it doesn't have, or technically doesn't really have like a revenue model like others. So it is very much speculation, but I guess all currencies are. But yes, fundamental for sure for Bitcoin.
Bullish or bearish?
Bullish, absolutely bullish. I'm super bullish on Bitcoin for the long term.
Are you invested in Bitcoin?
Personally, I have a little bit, but it's just stuff that I bought years ago that's in a Trezor that I don't even know. Well, I mean, I know where the Trezor is, but I haven't touched it in a long time. It's literally in my parents' basement. I haven't bought any Bitcoin in years. I may be bullish on it, but I'm more bullish on other things. And right now, especially at this part in the cycle. But
okay.
Yeah.
No, makes sense. Appreciate it. #2, Ethereum.
Very bullish. Short term, just need to get through some of the grayscale ETF outflows. And then I think we are, as long as macro continues to go our way, although looking at the screen right now, we are very red today as we record, but very bullish also because, ETF coming. I think the part of the cycle we're in, smart contract platforms are going to outpace Bitcoin, Ethereum being one of the leaders here. So extremely bullish for fundamental reasons.
And I already know answer this question, but are you invested?
Yes, plenty.
Okay.
More than I probably should be.
Okay, let's go to #3 on our list, but actually #4 by market cap, because Tether is #3 by market cap, but we're skipping Tether because it's a stable coin. BNB.
Ooh, this one's a difficult one. Price wise, it's done incredible cycle after cycle. It really fit and had a place in crypto last cycle when Ethereum became too expensive. This time around, look, it is a chain that exists because of Binance, which is the biggest exchange in the entire world. And so like it's bullish for that reason. But in terms of its tech and what they're building on BNB, I'm not super bullish on at all. They have like 18 validators or something. So it's like a very centralized blockchain. It's basically just a database, but they do have a lot of activity. And so like their, let's call it fundamentals in terms of just like activity is pretty good. But in terms of like, are they innovating? Are they really a decentralized protocol? Like all those things that I would want to invest in for long-term, fundamentally, I don't see that in BNB. But price action, they've done amazing. And they're obviously associated with the biggest crypto exchange in the world. So hard to not notice that.
Okay, so tough one here. Bullish or bearish?
So personally, bearish. However, I will not be surprised if BNB remains one of the top 5 tokens in crypto for the next number of years. So I won't be surprised if it does well this cycle. But I don't hold any.
Okay, Solana, next up.
Extremely bullish, probably the one that I'm most bullish on right now for many reasons, mainly just the fact that its numbers are doing as good or in some cases better than Ethereum, in some cases not better in terms of activity and things like that and fundamentals. and it's just way overvalued versus Ethereum. It's not, I don't think Solana kills Ethereum. I think they both do really well. I think Solana just has a bit more to catch up.
And if you want to learn more about Kai's bull take on Solana, go back to an episode from a few weeks ago. We'll link to that in the show notes where we break down price targets for this cycle and dive deep into that. Okay, let's go to XRP. Kai, what are your thoughts? Speculation, fundamentals, bullish, bearish?
So this one is, there's a lot of debate about XRP and there has been for a long time. I would say their chart is terrible. They didn't last cycle. They did not beat their previous cycle price. And then they're way below that this cycle too. So like the chart doesn't look good. The tech, in my opinion, made sense back in the day. I don't think it really does now. I know there's a lot of people that disagree with that. I don't think XRP is a fraud, like a lot of people say, but I'm not bullish on XRP. Although they do have a lot of connections in like TradFi, and so like maybe they can pull something out of their ass and make this work. But I'm grateful to XRP for their court case with the SEC and what they did there. But as a token and as a technology, not for me.
Bullish or bearish?
Bearish.
Okay.
I'd be willing to bet anyone it doesn't go back to all-time highs.
Ooh, I want to see anybody out there. You want to take that bet? Put a note in the comments. All right, wherever you're listening, and let us know if you think XRP will beat their all-time high, and we'll do a bet with Kyle. Okay, next up, the biggest riser on this list wasn't even on this list 6 months ago, and is now in the top 10. Toncoin.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with what TON has done in terms of their activity. And I mean, it obviously is coming from their distribution with Telegram. They're the blockchain for Telegram. So that's where it's all coming from. We'll see what they can do with it. The distribution's there. They can get millions of people over. They're about to have the biggest airdrop ever on their chain with like 300 million eligible users, which is insane. We'll see how it all plays out. But the only thing that worries me about TON is that everything they have right now relies on Telegram. If that partnership ever split, like they don't have much else yet, but it doesn't mean they can't build it. Doesn't mean they can't do more. And so overall, quite bullish on what Toncoin is doing and what they're doing over there on their chain.
All right, bullish. It was a little bit of a shrug bullish on that one.
My only issue is how overvalued. Like they're valued at such a high amount. It's like 38 billion FDV, I think it is right now. You've got 17 market cap, but I think it's like 38 billion FDV. And so for me, to buy at that level just is a bit crazy. 34 billion it is today.
All right, keep rolling along. Everybody's favorite dog, Dogecoin.
Yeah, I mean, I don't invest in meme coins much. I did one in DGen, and that was about it. And I got out of that. But I'm bullish on memes. I'm not particularly bullish on Dogecoin. Although if Elon decides to do something with Dogecoin out of nowhere, which would just catch everyone off guard, then like this thing could go to the moon. And so it's a speculation, not a fundamental reason, which I mean is all meme coins in this sense. And so, and even like so far this cycle, it performed well. It didn't perform extremely well like Dog with Hat and others. So like, I don't know, at this valuation, it's tough to see this thing go much higher, but you never know.
Bullish or bearish?
Bearish. But I know that one's going to bite me in the ass. It's going to go up 10x from here for sure, but still bearish.
But not for you, not for your portfolio. No. That's all right. Yeah. That's all right. Okay. Next up, Cardano.
Oh God. It did beat last cycle. It did beat what its price went the previous cycle before that, which is quite surprising because I'm very bearish on Cardano. I think it is essentially a zombie chain at this point. They have been promising the world for many years and have done next to nothing. They have no fundamental like activity or any fundamental metrics, whatever, that would make you think this is going to be a successful chain, other than some guy on YouTube that wants to meet with you every week and tell you that there's all these bullish things happening. I don't see it. I have nothing against Cardano. I have nothing against Charles Hoskinson. If the metrics change and the indicators go the other way and they actually start to launch things and innovate over there, then sure, I could be, but I haven't seen it, and it's been all promises ever since I've been in crypto. So I'm very bearish, and that chart looks terrible too.
No debate on your opinion there. I love to see the certainty. Okay, next up, let's go to TRON. This is an interesting one.
TRON's one that's flipped me over the last little while. The interesting thing about TRON, and by the way, that chart looks amazing, is as someone who lives in North America, I don't use TRON. I never do. But when you learn about what people are doing in Asia and other parts of the world, TRON is huge and very well known. And so I'm actually very bullish on TRON for a few reasons. One, super bullish on stablecoins. Tron is currently the leader. I mean, outside of Ethereum in terms of TVL, but in terms of activity, it's the number one. Tether, I'm very bullish on, and most of Tron is full of Tether. And I think the world needs this. I think Tron provides a great tool for it. Long term, I'm not sure if Tron is the solution. There are better blockchains that can provide cheaper payment infrastructure. But if Tron can build out a good ecosystem and get more apps building on it, they've got users, they've got TVL with stablecoins. So like they're there. And so definitely bullish Tron.
All right. I love it. Next up, let's go to Avalanche.
Avalanche they have potential, and they have some partnerships that I know they're paying for rather than actually earning, but there's good tech there. There's good partnerships. And I mean, everyone pays for partnerships in crypto. So like, it's not like, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I haven't seen a ton of innovation like I thought we might see out of Avalanche after last cycle. Most of that's moved to Solana and Ethereum and mainly Ethereum L2s. And then obviously TON now is kind of the next L1 that's really jumped up here. And so I don't see a reason for Avalanche to really dominate in terms of their tech. And so they're not like, Solana is 10x better than any other chain in terms of performance. Avalanche isn't that, and it's still sort of just like an EVM chain. So it's just doesn't really have that differentiator. So I'm definitely, it's not a zombie chain by any means. There's cool things being built there. I'm just not super bullish. I'd rather put my capital elsewhere.
Okay, bullish or bearish?
Bearish.
I like that sometimes I have to make you say it because you say you're not super bullish instead of saying bearish. Okay, let's go to the other dog, Shiba Inu.
Yeah, Shiba, I think, has they tried to build some things and become not a meme coin. I think that was the death of them, and so I'm very bearish Shiba. That token, or the chart, sorry, looks pretty bad too. Although whatever that spike was they had was wild, but whatever they tried to build didn't quite work out, and so they have been down only since. And so I'm bearish on Shiba.
All right, let's go to Bitcoin Cash next.
This is one of the ones that surprised me that it's even still in the top 20. Bitcoin Cash it lost its battle to Bitcoin a long time ago. The fact that it even has billions of dollars in value blows my mind. It's a zombie chain, straight up. And if you put your money in it, you are wasting your money.
7.7 billion in market cap.
Yeah,
Still.
8 billion FTV. And has anyone here listening ever used it? And I don't mean bought the token. I know a lot of people buy this token because I don't know why, but just that's what you used to do in
Bitcoin
2017. Yeah.
Bitcoin.
But you've never used it. There's not an app that's built on top of it. It's I don't know why it is still existing.
All right. Bullish or bearish?
Bearish.
Okay, next up, Chainlink.
Chainlink, man, very bullish. I just wish the token would do better. It's always struggled, but I got a lot of respect for the Chainlink army. I think what Chainlink is building is massively important for crypto. It's basically connecting the physical world to the on-chain world, the off-chain world to the on-chain world. They've got a lot of things they need to figure out in terms of their tokenomics. It's not the sexiest business. I think that's probably why it hasn't done super, super well. But fundamentally, like, they're just an incredible project. They're doing a lot of great things. We need Chainlink, and I hope they can figure out a way to bring value to their token and pump this thing, because it's important infrastructure. So fundamentally, very strong.
Bullish or bearish?
Bullish.
And do you
Although
invest?
To be fair, I don't own any Link. I bought Link when I first got into crypto back in like 2020 or something like that. I forget when I bought it. I didn't even know what it was though. I just bought it and heard it was like going to be the number 3. And then I like obviously started studying, go down the rabbit hole, and I sold it. But I don't hold any, and I haven't for a long time. But doesn't mean I'm not bullish. I still am bullish.
Okay, next up, Polkadot.
Polkadot is sort of similar to the Cardano situation, although a little bit different. A lot of promise last cycle on Polkadot. There was a lot of excitement in what they were doing. They raised a ton of money from VCs, similar to how, and then also the founder of Polkadot is the ex-founder of Ethereum. Same with how Cardano, their founder, is the ex-founder of Ethereum as well. And so like sort of bullish on the tech of Polkadot. They did do something cool there, but they just never made it, and they never built an ecosystem, and they never ended up getting a bunch of developers and a bunch of apps to build on there. So there's just no innovation. They've got a lot of money. They tend to blow it on useless things. And so I don't know why they're doing that. They like that emoji or whatever that's moving over on CoinGecko here. Like I think they paid what it was like 50 grand or something for that. And I'm not sure that's helping them much. There's probably better choices they could make if they want to grow their ecosystem. So like, don't really love as a marketer what their marketing team has done, but respect for Polkadot overall, I guess. And if they can happen to get some innovation and some apps to build on there, then sure, it could be bullish. But right now I'm bearish until I see something different happen there.
Okay, next up, Leo token.
I actually had no idea what Leo token was until today, although I looked at the chart and was like, oh, that actually looks pretty good. They've done really well over the last, however long this has been here, a couple of years. It's like what bear market for Leo token? They never had it. And they've been around since 2019. Like, what's going on with this token? So I was actually quite impressed. It's actually Bitfinex's token. So it's a token for an exchange. I don't know why this token would still hold value. It doesn't make sense to me, but honestly, I don't know anything about it. So I can't really comment what's going on with the Leo token.
All right, so no bullish or bearish, just what the fuck is Leo
Yeah.
token?
What is this and how is it in the top 20 of crypto? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Only in crypto could you have a token come into the top 20 that we don't know about. Okay, let's go to Uniswap.
Uniswap is, an incredible application. One of the most innovative things we've had. One of the biggest use cases that crypto ever created was a decentralized exchange and AMM, sorry. And so I'm very bullish on what Uniswap has done. They are easily the biggest in the space and continue to dominate. The only reason their token hasn't done well is because they have yet to generate value to the token itself. But Uniswap is like I don't know, the token's been around for like 3 years, not even. And so there's no reason that it should have value accrual yet. I think it can be years away. And so ultimately very bullish on what Uniswap has done. They can generate a shit ton of revenue. They could bring that back to the token. They just don't need to yet. Also, it's probably because of the SEC. But whenever they get clearance to do that, this token's going to just absolutely rip. And I think they're going to be one of the leaders to figure this out because they're one of the only real things with product market fit in crypto. So extremely bullish.
Do you hold any?
Sorry, not extremely bullish. I don't hold any, which would mean I'm not extremely bullish, but I'm bullish fundamentally, and I think it's probably a good time to start accumulating at some point, especially if Trump wins the election. These guys are going to get the green light to like generate value back to their token, and so that's going to be massive. And I think Uniswap's going to be one of the leaders in there, along with like Maker and some of the other old OG DeFi projects. So I think probably if Trump wins the election, this token will do really well.
Do you think that means that Uniswap is likely to have a big candle off of one big news event when they do make this change and they do turn on a fee switch, whenever that might be, if they do, versus a slow, steady climb?
Yeah, every time they make a proposal, it has a big jump, and then obviously it fades out because that proposal doesn't come true. But when the signs really start to click, like, oh, this is actually going to happen, it probably has a big candle, and I think it just goes up and up and up and up because it's again product market fit. They've got a real business model. They have trillions in volume since they launched. They can make money and they can bring that back to the token. They just aren't allowed at the moment because they're an American company. So it's unfortunate, but it's what it is.
Okay, final two. Near protocol.
Near, I think is a great project. They're leaning into the AI niche, which I think is very smart. They have great tech. They're an incredible blockchain. And so they have all the things. They don't have the like adoption in terms of an ecosystem like Solana and Ethereum has managed to do over the last few years. But if they can get that, then they can easily be one of the top blockchains in the space because they have sharding and like a really good technology in terms of the blockchain themselves. And then they have this AI niche that if they continue to lean into that, they can really, I think niching is super smart and they can really attract a lot of different use cases, but it's just very early stage for AI. And so whenever that thing takes off again, which I think is soon, and I think AI will have a moment this cycle, I think Near is going to do really well. But fundamentally, so I'm bullish. I think AI, I'm not bullish on fundamentally. AI crypto, I'm not bullish on fundamentally. I'm bullish on as a narrative. I think that really does well, but I think we're years away from AI and crypto really fundamentally mattering and making a difference. And I think Near has a good chance of being that in the years to come when that happens. So speculative or narrative wise, bullish, fundamental, bullish long term, not right now.
Appreciate the detail in your bullish versus bearish there, Kai. Okay.
Well, I don't want to get yelled at. Everyone listening right now is going to yell at me for my takes. So I
want everyone to yell at you, actually. If everybody could please yell at Kyle, that would be great. That's what I'm looking for here. Okay. Last one, Litecoin.
Like one of the other ones where I just don't know how this is still a top 20 token. How it even made it to all-time highs last cycle is beyond me. Very bearish and just there's nothing going on there again. It's like Bitcoin Cash. It's the same thing. It's one of these old ones. People think it's the silver to the gold of Bitcoin kind of thing. It's not. It's definitely not, and it's never going to be. I'm ultra bearish.
Okay,
It's kind of
I
fun
just
to do
realized
this, to be honest.
my math is off. That's only 18.
Come
So
on, we missed two?
we got to do two more because I had to disclude Wrapped ETH and a bunch of these
Right.
here. So and I also realized we have not had any L2s yet. And if we do
Yeah.
two more, we do get well, kind of get an L2, actually, kind of not. So next up is Kaspa is next.
Man, this one is, actually looked into this a little bit a couple weeks ago because a bunch of people kept asking me about it all on like the same day. And I was like, what's going on here? The chart looks incredible. Like, look at how well they've done in the last year. I'm going to say I don't know enough about Kaspa to give a clear like breakdown of my thoughts. I'm hesitant of these like layer ones that like come in with all this hype where a bunch of like influencers and people are all of a sudden talking about it out of nowhere. That always scares me a little bit because you never know where that came from. And so I don't know enough about the tech. I don't know enough about the ecosystem to really comment, but the chart looks incredible. A lot of people are asking about it. The pro team is actually starting to look into it. And we might do a more deep dive onto it. So I can't say anything on Kaspa because I just don't know yet.
If you're listening and you want us to look more into Kaspa, throw a
Yeah, let me know in
comment
the
in the show
comments.
notes. Let us know.
Because I've asked the pro team a couple times and they were just kind of hesitant, haven't really done it. There's more important things to look at. But if you guys think it's important, let us know. We'll dive into it.
Okay, last one, Polygon.
Man, Polygon, I want to be bullish on, but I'm actually not super bullish right now. They have a great team, big team, tons of capital. They have so much tech. And I'm a bit confused on what they're trying to do and where they're going with this all. I wonder if they got too big too fast and too much money, and now they're just sort of fumbling the ball here because they haven't really been able to put something together. They said they were going to become a real L2 and transition the proof of stake chain to an L2 on Ethereum. They haven't done it. It was supposed to happen Q1 2024. We haven't really heard much about it either. They're switching their token name all the time. They're branding. It just seems like a very confused organization. So they definitely have the potential to do amazing and be a leader in this space. Just feels like almost like OpenSea where they're sort of fumbling it when they had the lead because they really had the lead last cycle. And so right now I'm actually bearish. Maybe there's a price where it makes sense to buy in because again, they have so much capital, so much tech, so much like a huge team. And so I don't think they go like away. I think there will be a comeback story for Polygon. I'm just like this cycle is what I'm looking for. And I'm not bullish this cycle.
So bearish Polygon, just to be clear.
Bearish Polygon right now. Although like at these numbers, it's getting about as low as it's been in a long time. So like speculative, it might make sense.
Okay.
Maybe. But
okay.
Fundamentals, I'm not seeing it at the moment. Except for Polymarket. They do have Polymarket. So we'll see how long that they stay on there for. Everything else they had was falling apart, it appears.
All right, Kai, that's a wrap on our first top 20 breakdown. Going through those top 20, just take a step back for us. Where do you feel like we're at in the state of the crypto market now, maybe versus 4 years ago, last cycle, and where do you think we might be 4 years from now?
The thing I think people want to think about, most of these top 20 were blockchains, whether those be L1s, mainly L1s, and then the one L2 at the end. And so you got to think about these chains that they're building ecosystems. They're a network, right? And the other day when I was talking about this, I was trying to figure out like what my advice here is. I'm not necessarily hating on any of these except for maybe Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash. I think any of these ecosystems have a chance to do well, right? Like look at TRON. A year ago, it had no chance to do well, and then all of a sudden, Telegram decided that hey, we're gonna come on board, and boom, the thing became one of the biggest. Any of these blockchains can do that. Polkadot, Cardano, whatever, all of them can. When I think about where I want to put my capital, I want to think about the risk reward. The chances of Solana or Ethereum, let's say Base or whatever, of getting the next app that brings on billions or millions of people, let's say, the chances are very high over there. Why? Because they have hundreds of apps launching every single year on these chains. There's tons of funding, like billions of dollars of funding in these chains, these ecosystems. And even like, let's say predictions markets where Polygon or Polymarket did well, there's a bunch of different prediction markets that have all been built, all testing, and one of them finally made it. But all of them are on Ethereum and it's L2s. And so the chances of these apps actually succeeding where you get the millions and millions of people and thus the fundamentally strong narrative and like activities and indicators, that chance is just so much better on something like Ethereum or on Solana and very low on something like Cardano or Polkadot, which just doesn't have any activity and doesn't have any developers and doesn't have an ecosystem and doesn't have a lot of funding into their ecosystem either. And so when I think about where you want to put your capital, going into this next phase of this bull market, and even just the next, let's call it decade, where we think everything's going to go on chain, most things are going to go on chain where the ecosystems are, the lively ones. And if I'm a betting man, I want to go where the best chance of me getting that next app that becomes the next big one, right? And you have 100 chances every single few months on Solana or on Ethereum and its L2s. You get a few chances over on Polkadot or over on Cardano because there's just not a lot of apps there and not a lot of developers building there. So that's the way that I think about this. I'm not saying any of the tech is crap or there's, I'm not saying anything's a fraud or any of that stuff. I just want to put my capital where I have the best chance for it to grow and succeed. And that's in the Ethereum and the Solana ecosystems right now. Potentially it's in Near, potentially it's in some of the other L1s that aren't even on here right now. But honestly, when I think of fundamentals, there's a lot of tokens that have strong fundamentals that are not in the top 20. And to me, that's the opportunity. I talked about Solana and Ethereum a lot here. There's a bunch of tokens that are doing extremely well that we didn't get to talk about here because somehow they're not in top 20. And I think that is the alpha that most people don't get right now. When I think TradFi comes into crypto, which is going to be the next thing that causes this bull market, they're going to come in and look for fundamentals, not what was here in 2017. They don't care, right? And so if you can find the fundamentally strong tokens that are not in the top 20, because it really falls off a cliff, after these ones that are like 10 billion plus, you're going down to like 2 billion, and some of these have fundamentals that should be way higher than that. And I think that's where the real opportunity is. And so that's what we look for.
Maker. Okay, let's go to the wrap up here. I want to know though, you guys listening, what tokens would you like us to cover in our next video? Any tokens that we covered today that you're invested in that you want to see us go deeper in? Or is there a token that we didn't talk about today that you want to see us cover? Let us know. We make this content for you and we want to know what you guys want. Also, if you guys want to help us grow, smash the like button, leave us a review on your podcast platform. Anything you can do to engage with our content just brings more people to the Milk Road Show and obviously brings more people into crypto, which helps all of us. Remember, none of this is financial advice. Investing in crypto is risky and you should only invest what you can lose. What you can afford to lose, or you should only invest what you can lose. Same thing. That's a wrap on today's show, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Have a wicked awesome day.